We need to understand that there are different levels of our consciousness. There's the subconscious mind. Master talked about these three levels. The subconscious mind he described as the repository of all our past experiences and thoughts and desires and reactions. It's like a great, great subterranean archive, one might call it. And it influences us a great deal, much more than we realize. It's dreamlike, it's passive, it's kind of vague. And very often when we're, if you see some people have a chronic habit of, they say, oh yes, I'm meditating, and then they're just falling asleep, and they're just going into a subconscious state, which is a relaxing state. It's like when we go to sleep at night, but it's not necessarily a state of conscious clarity. Then there's the conscious mind. And the conscious mind is the rational decision-making process, the kind of either-or, and it's how most of us operate, make decisions most of the time. We try to figure out with our mind the best course of action, weigh it rationally, kind of make columns, yay or nay, yes or no, positive or negative, and you kind of tally them up and say, well, I guess we do this because there's more positive or less negative, so we'll go in that direction. And it's a good way. It's better than the subconscious mind, which is more dreamy and not that related to objective reality. But then there's a third level of the consciousness, which Yoganandaji talks about, and that's the superconscious mind. And that's the intuitive perception that we tap into in deep meditation. And once we begin drawing inspiration and guidance from the superconscious or intuitive mind, this is the overarching consciousness that's linked with a greater reality. It's how we can draw new thoughts, creative ideas. And when you read about the lives of all great men and women of science or artistic endeavor, whatever it might be, they're people who knew how to draw intuitive guidance from the superconscious mind. For example, the great physicist and thinker of the 20th century, Albert Einstein, the theory of relativity, though he'd been thinking about it for many, many years, it came to him in an intuitive flash, that higher insight. And then he spent many years logically trying to create a mathematical formula that would express it and was able to succeed. But that superconscious mind really is the source of our higher guidance. And we tap into that superconscious mind. Jyotish gave us that little exercise at the beginning while we were beginning our meditation. We tap into it by concentrating at the kutastha, the spiritual eye. That's the Master described it. It's like the sending station of a radio, and then we try to feel within the area of the heart chakra, the Anahat chakra. That's the receiving station. And the more we can begin developing a keen awareness of this process, of how to draw guidance in this way, it really is life-changing, because we're not just being driven by subconscious impressions and desires, and we're transcending the limiting factor of the conscious or mind, the rational mind, logic. Logic has its place, of course, but it's limited. But the superconscious mind makes connections that we wouldn't necessarily perceive. So it's very important that we need to understand that to follow true guidance, we have to be in a heightened state of energy, not kind of low or moody or dreamy or wistful, any of those things. You can rely fairly trustingly on the fact that if you're in a lower state of energy, if you're in a mood, you won't get clear guidance. It's only when you shake that off. Swami Kriyananda tells a story in The New Path of when he was a new disciple living in Yoganandaji's ashram, he hadn't seen our Guruji for some days, and he was really missing him. And then the word came that Yogananda wanted him to bring some bottles of big 5-gallon bottles of water up to his kitchen. And Swamiji was so happy to do this, and and Master was in the other room writing. But Swami was, of course, you can understand the human emotions. He was trying to draw his guru's attention so he could have some little exchange. And he was sort of rattling the bottles around, trying to make noise, and Master just kept writing and didn't pay any attention. And then when Swami went downstairs, he fell into a mood. And oh, Master doesn't love me, and I'm just a useless disciple, and I'm not very effective, and on and on. We all know that downward spiral of negative thinking. And then he realized, no, I've got to stop this. And he stopped at whatever he was doing. He sat down. He held his awareness very strongly at the kutastha. And he said, just within a matter of moments, the whole perception changed. And he said, of course Master loves me. Of course he's given me his grace and his blessings. He's got so much work to do. If he had to attend to every one of us who are a little bit needy, how would he get anything done and fulfill his mission? And he was able to just turn that perception immediately by bringing his energy to the kutastha. So when we want to draw guidance, if we're in a negative or low energy mood, we won't get clarity. We have to meditate. We have to draw that energy up